because they're his friends, right?
Could be. He might be real good friends with River Craycraft. All right. This is a big picture topic. Instead of going player by player, we've been doing that for the last few days. Let's look big picture. You call this like the Grant Cohn draft. This is like the people's draft. Every year, the Niners do stuff that kind of makes me scratch my head. Last year, I thought it was like they didn't address a single need. This year, it was, I don't know. I mean, when they went, first of all, they shocked everyone by not taking Mac Jones. That felt like progress. To back that up by taking a guard instead of a wide receiver, I was literally shocked. I could not believe it. Then they traded up and took a running back instead of a wide receiver, then a quarterback corner instead of a wide receiver, then another offensive lineman, and they never took a wide receiver. Does this draft show growth in Shanahan, or is there another interpretation here?
I don't know if growth is the word because I don't know if he's changed. I think it just shows evolution.
Okay.
I think this shows we've seen his offense look so different, and I think we're going to see what the next part of his offense is. And him and Mike McDaniel, to me, are the two best run game coordinators in the NFL. I think Shanahan, in terms of the creativity of his run game, it's up there in NFL history with all the things they do, the way they use motion, the way they use outside zone, inside zone. They run power, they run trap plays, they run counter plays. They do it all. It's a really diverse run game, and I think you're seeing that he's embracing that. He's going to embrace his run game. And it's not to say that, Trey Lance isn't a good thrower or quarterback. He is both of those things. It's just that he's adding an element to the run game, and Shanahan is getting his offensive line and his running backs geared up to really embrace that part of his offense. And I think that's what you're seeing. We're seeing the next evolution of Kyle Shanahan's offense, what he thinks is going to beat the modern defense, which is first of all, modern defenses don't play base. The Niners are going to operate out of 21 and 22 personnel, especially after they just gave a ton of money to a fullback. So they're going to force defenses into base. Two modern defenses outside of like the New England Patriots don't have these old school 250-pound middle linebackers that can take on fullbacks and take on pulling guards and all of that. They have these 220-pound linebackers who flow sideline to sideline and are super fast, who are good in space and good in coverage. So I think we're seeing that Shanahan is one step ahead of the NFL. As the NFL is now finally getting smaller and faster, which is what Seattle did originally to have that special defense, we're seeing Shanahan get bigger, stronger, and really focus on his run game so he can take advantage of the problems you have. I mean, look at the defensive linemen. Defensive lines, for the most part, because of Aaron Donald, like people think, if you just get a small, quick defensive lineman that penetrates, it's good. But can he take on double teams? Can he do those type of things? So I think we're seeing that. And the Niners have a physical team in both sides of the line of scrimmage. And I think we're going to see the Niners bully teams in a creative finesse way.
To me, I look at it as growth. I mean, I don't know how he got here, but to me, it seems like he's been trying to recreate his Falcons offense for the last few years. It was great, man. It was like the greatest show on turf. It was a lot like what the Rams did 20 years ago. It was cool. You threw the ball all over the field. You had a pocket passer. You made it work. You had a great formula, and it worked in Atlanta. You had Julio Jones, Matt Ryan. It doesn't quite work the same way with Jimmy Garoppolo. You're not going to get Matt Ryan. Mac Jones ain't that. So you know what? You took what you had, and now you're going in this different direction, and I like it because even though I know Kyle Shanahan likes to throw the ball, and he was a wide receiver, and he's had success, every time he's gotten himself in trouble in his careers when he didn't run the ball enough, when he didn't run the ball when he should have. And now it's like he's finally embracing that, you know what I do best is run the ball. I am a run game savant. Mike McDaniel's a run game savant. We should let Greg Roman lead the league in running. We can do that. We can out Greg Roman any day of the week. We did it in 2012. Let's do it again. I like it. I really like it. If they go 60-40 run, nice. If they go 65-35 run, great. You guys can pull it off. You guys have the talent to pull it off.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's part of it. I think that is part of it. And I knew you would go that angle. I knew you would go the fact that he's finally embracing his run game. But yeah. I've always felt that he has embraced his run game. So I think that's okay. But I think what he's
a run-first guy, but he'll let it go. And like even when he's up in the second half, it's like, no, like this team is going to be relentless in a way that he hasn't had. Because just being so committed to outside zone is great. But I don't think you can put teams away with outside. It's finesse. And this team is no longer just a finesse run game. It's everything. Whatever you want, they can do it. Only question is there enough hours in the day to practice everything and to be good at everything? Because now you're trying to – that's kind of what the Harbaugh team tried to do. They try to do everything. So we'll see if this team can do it.
That's fair, but I think that's where the running back he drafted I don't think that run game scheme and offensive line put teams away. I think it's the actual running back, and it's having that type of bruiser that can take over games. And that's why when you used to tell me Raheem Mostert's a top 10 running back in the NFL, I used to say, no way in hell. He's not a top 10 running back. And that's because when you're up 21-14 late in the fourth quarter, Raheem Mostert is not the type of running back that you run 5 times, 6 times in a drive, and he closes the game for you.
Leonard Fournette's that kind of guy. Trey Sermon's that kind of guy.
Trey Sermon's that kind of. Zeke Elliott in his prime was the epitome of this. So that's
and to be fair to Kyle, he didn't have those running backs in his 2 Super Bowl appearances. Now, to be fair to the other way, like he chose those running backs. He's always had scat backs, and now he's finally. I mean, he went from a very small, fast finesse offense to Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Trey Sermon, Trey Lance. I mean, it's a huge offense. It's enormous.
And it's enormous. It's big too. That's the funny thing.
I think that's growth.
Line is humongous.
I mean, they went from freaking Marquise Goodwin to Deebo. You know, I think it is growth. I think it's really cool. I don't know how he got here, but I really like the direction they're taking. I love it. I really like it.
Pettis to Deebo.
Pettis couldn't play on this team.
No.
I really like the direction this team is going. Maybe it's because they lost Mike LaFleur and they've elevated Mike McDaniel, and he's like, guys, can we just run the ball every time? Is that okay? And like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go for it.
I don't see, even if Jimmy starts, you take out the quarterback element. I think this run game is going to be top 3 or 4 in the NFL, barring injury, which is the question. But if you start Trey Lance, like they're going to have a good passing game too, because they're going to just scheme it up off play action, and all the quarterbacks are going to be able to hit those layup throws.
He's one of the strongest arms in the league too, so he's going to have to defend everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they can run league instead of turning from a 30-yard, 40-yard play is now going to be a 60-yard play because he can effortlessly flick that ball 60 yards.
That's the thing about here's what I think. He's going to start when he becomes a starter week 1, week 5, whatever. He's going to have lines like this. He'll be like 13-19, 3 touchdowns through the air, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 100 yards rushing. It's like, what? But he's going to have some crazy numbers like that. Lots of touchdowns, not a lot of throws, but big plays. Like a lot of handoff, and then 60-yard throw. He's gonna
be the EPA king, because when you add him into the run game and all of that, the efficiency numbers with Trey Lance are going to be off the charts. Because I think the other thing is, if you add him into the run game, what people don't realize is that the pass game is going to be wide open for Trey Lance. When you add his ability to run, and he has to be accounted in the run game, and you add this run game, off play action, everything's going to be wide open for him.
Let's talk about it from a defensive coordinator's perspective. You have Trey Lance in the backfield. You cannot play 2 high safeties at any point in the game.
No.
You have to keep 8 in the box the entire time. So
can't play man coverage.
You can't play man coverage. You can't play 2 deep safeties. So what are your options? You can play cover 3 the whole game. What are your options? You can play basically cover 3 and some variations of that, maybe a blitz here and there. But that's why Harbaugh wanted Kaepernick. That's why Kyle is going this direction. If you just look at it from a defense, that's why Robert Saleh is gravitating to these kind of quarterbacks too. They're really hard to stop. There's very little options. Even with a great quarterback like Tom Brady or Drew Brees, there's nothing you can't do. You can rush 3. You can rush 5. You can get real crazy, real exotic. With this guy, you have to be as basic as possible. Vanilla. So
somebody's asking why you can't play man. You can't play man because on any third down, if you play man and your DBs turn their back, I know
go back and watch Kaepernick.
But just go run. Just get run. I mean, the Packers tried playing man against Colin Kaepernick, and he set the record for the most rushing yards in a playoff game in NFL history. So
if you play man, you have to have a quarterback spy. So that means you got to have a player on your defense who's about 230 pounds, tops out at about 21 miles an hour. Like, who's the quarterback spy for Trey Lance? Who's the quarterback spy for Lamar Jackson? It's Bobby Wagner ain't running down Lamar.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Simmons is the only one athletic enough, but I don't. I think
so. Yeah,
Kyle Shanahan would make it.
Very few defenses have a special enough athlete to do this. So you're going to see 8 in the box, zone coverage all day. You're right, Vish. Colin says no wide receiver drafted because Kyle plans on suiting up. Yeah, that's right. But Kyle has changed him. So he used to be a wide receiver. Now he's a quarterback. You didn't know that? You didn't hear that? He's a quarterback now.
I also think the amount of resources they've invested, they got to just like, they can't keep like making it where, oh, we made a mistake at receiver, let's just take another one. It had to be like, we got to Jalen Hurd, there's no excuses. We're going to put pressure on Jalen Hurd to be something for us this year. We're going to put some pressure on Travis Benjamin and Richie James and all these people.
Also, what you said, they're not going to be playing as much 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers as much. That was more the Atlanta offense. They're embracing like big boy football. They're going to run people over. They're going to be bigger than the other team. And so I think you're going to see a lot of use check, more use check, and more dwelly. A lot of 2 tight end, not that many 3 wide receiver formations.
Their 11 personnel offense basically only on 3rd down. That's when they really want to go in 11 personnel. And philosophically, Kyle Shanahan has talked about this a lot. Yeah. His offense is about staying away from 3rd down. It's about getting 7-8 yards on 1st down and moving the chains consistently.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
They don't want to even have 3 receivers on the field in the first place.
They want to be among the league leaders in fewest 3rd downs attempted per game. Like that's what they want. Not like great efficiency on 3rd down, but like we only faced 7 3rd downs today. That's great.
Which goes back to why Trey Lance should start week 1. If you're trying to stay out of 3rd down, you're not even putting him in that many drop back situations.
It just seems if you want to be the best running offense in the league in 2021, your quarterback has to be involved. Mm-hmm. There's a ton you can do without your quarterback, as the 49ers have shown. There's a ton you can do. But there's just so much more you can do with a guy like Trey Lance. And I'm sure Mike McDaniel looks at Greg Roman and is like, man, I'm smarter than you, dude. Yeah. I could do this stuff. Like, well, what if I had a quarterback like that? Now they have it. I'm really excited to see what he can do. Now, he's not Lamar Jackson.
No,
he has more arm talent than Lamar Jackson.
Stronger arm, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Now, no one has as much leg talent. I don't know how you want to put it as Lamar Jackson. He's the best ball carrier in the league, but Lance is pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Kyle, we're giving you credit for growth. I don't know if you have, but that's the narrative, and I'm sticking to it. Vish, I think we'll wrap it up a little early today. I'm feeling a little funky after the draft. I don't know if I was running on adrenaline the last 2 weeks or something, but my body all of a sudden is like, summer break. I'm like, no, man, it doesn't work that way. I don't take
Let me ask you, how did you feel when that draft was happening? I mean, I was kind of seeing your Twitter and what you were saying, but we didn't talk all weekend. I wanted to know what your
I was like flattered. I was like, really? Like, you guys are just going to take all my advice? Like, every time I've been covering the team, I've spent all off season trying to help, and I make my mock drafts and suggestions, and they go like the entire other direction. I feel almost like I take it personal. And this time I was like, man, you guys were listening, but they weren't. But I just like, wow, I really like this draft. I mean, it felt out of character for them. And I don't know. Now I come on my YouTube channel. I'm like, so the Niners are pretty good. They're going the right direction, huh, guys?
I mean, they are.
I got nothing else to complain about. I like what they're doing until I see something differently.
I actually liked it too, and they didn't take the quarterback that I prefer, but I'm okay with it. And that's the fun part about it, because I was talking about this. Blake and I did a little segment about this, and we were talking about the landing spots for these quarterbacks. And it's like, I've developed a new philosophy just because the draft was so tedious this year, and watching like 6 different quarterbacks and 7 different quarterbacks. I mean, glad I don't have to do that for the next 4 or 5 years at least. So that was so tedious. But the funny thing, I was talking to Blake and I was like, man, we rank these guys before the draft and then we see where they go. And it's like when you see Justin Fields go to Chicago and you see Trey Lance go to the 49ers, it's like a ticking time bomb in your head, because you know that situation is not going to make you look good 5 years from now. And
that's the thing. Like, I don't think we talk about enough in the lead up to the draft. We're trying so hard to rank the quarterbacks and people get really upset, and there becomes like, if you rank one person over another, who the hell do you think you are? It's like, hey, a lot of this depends on where they go. Justin Fields got screwed. I feel bad for him. Trey Lance is in a great situation, although there's a lot of pressure. Kellen Mond is in the best situation. No pressure, good team. Same with Kyle Trask. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, Davis Mills got screwed. He had to go to Houston as a 3rd-round pick when they were. They said Davis Mills means that Deshaun Watson is done. Then, like, what? 3rd-round pick Davis Mills? What?
Did Jamie Newman get drafted?
No, he didn't. He got signed by the Eagles. Eagles are building a quarterback factory. Dallas is building a linebacker factory. The NFC East is just cooking, man.